How is the YouTube world doing today? Let me get my chat board up here and make sure the sound is good. And if you are out there watching, make yourself known in the chat box. Sounds like we got some sound rolling here. To the point, formative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment. Welcome back to Elster's Rifles and Reloading. And I'm bored. And I have a bunch of brass that I need to decap from that PSA Coal Hammer Forge series. And I need to get this decapped. I'm going to use this FW Arms decapper. And you can see I got some welcome additions to the bench here. And it's the Co-Ax press, Forster Co-Ax press. I got it mounted. I got a bunch of new toys rolling in. The clear lid for the A&D FX120i V3 combo unit. It's a lot of letters and numbers to spill out in one big blob. Got Eagle Eye Shooting. First guy, man, finally made it. How you doing, my friend? Doug B is rolling in the house saying howdy. And like I said, we got some new toys, at least I do. It's kind of like Christmas. Let me know how the sound is. Let me know what the video is like. He's saying, dang it, I wanted to get a coax for the longest time. Ended up with a mech marksman. And I've heard nothing but good things about that mech marksman press. And I don't think you could go wrong with either one. And I think you made the right decision. And I just happened to go with the Forster Co-Ax because I had $80 worth of gift cards. Shields had them shipped for I think it was $345. I ended up getting shipped after tax. They had free shipping. I think it was like I paid $280. I mean, that's just dirt cheap for an amazing press. And I don't want to spill the beans completely on this. I'll go over it a little bit. And some other things I wanted to go over is how to prep a piece of brass, a quick and easy method of doing that. If you happen to miss a couple pieces out at the range and you get back home and you reloaded on 100, but you notice you only have 98 left in your box. I'm going to just give you some quick pointers. And this is once fired Lake City brass. I want to get this decapped and I want to test this out on this new Forster Co-Ax press. And I want to get it definitely tested out on this A&D FX120i scale with powder drop, and it's going to be awesome. And so I figured, you know what the heck, I'm going to do some reloading. Might also have you guys join me live. And especially if some of you guys that are out there and you're new, if you got any questions on anything, let them rip, and I'll try my best. Try my best to answer them as best I possibly can. And talking about Eagle Eye Shooting, talk about a great guy and a great channel. And he's got an amazing amount of useful information on his channel, and I highly recommend checking him out, Eagle Eye Shooting. And sometimes you got to admit when you're maybe wrong. And I think he's got some really good points on his channel in regards to headspace, having minimal to no headspace at all, and getting the best concentricity out of your ammunition to make sure that the middle axis of that reloaded ammunition that you are making, its concentricity is pointing right down that bore. And he makes some really good points. And I think I might even switch up some of my methods. And that's where you need to learn how to grow in regards to your own reloading skills, is knowing to learn and keep your mouth shut and just listen to somebody else. And he makes some really good points in there, and I really value his channel. And I might actually pick up some of those points, and I might bring those into my own reloading adventure. And that's kind of the whole thing about the reloading community, is we kind of learn from each other. I take little bits and pieces from Eagle Eye Shooting. I take some bits and pieces from X-Ring and Is Your Six Covered and guys like Gavin Tube and you name it. you know, you take little bits and you make your own adventure, and it all depends on what kind of equipment you have, and that's what it's all about. And Rob Stewart's running in the house saying, Todd, y'all, yeah, shooting up now. Is your 6 covered? Oh, great. Guess I can't go live. No, well, I'm trying to steal this damn live king crown from Is Your 6 covered, because apparently he is the live king. Eagle Eyes Shooting saying, there's never the best method, only the method that you've tried and works for you. Your channel helps many, including me, nailed it. And that's exactly it. And it's using some logic, using some science, and some of it's art. And, you know, I take some of that information from Eagle Eye, and I think it's really solid information. And I might steal some of that information and put it into my own reloading makeup, but I think it's going to help me out. I really do, and that's what it's all about. You know, regardless if it's Johnny's reloading or Eagle Eye Shooting or Gavin, you got to watch it all and make your own adventure. So just to give you a quick lowdown what I'm doing here, and I figured I'd just do this while we're chatting, especially for some of you guys that are new. I'm dropping brass all over the place. So I know some of you guys have been watching this series, and I got all of the 100 pieces of brass shot here. I went out and shot the other remaining 50 pieces that I had. So I need to get this deprimed. And I know some of you guys have watched me deprime before, but I figured I'd have you run on here live with me. And if you got any questions in regards to decapping, you really can't beat the FW Arms decapper. It is the best decapper in my opinion. It's auto centering, and it's next to impossible in my opinion to bust the pin on this thing. This collar here is adjustable, and so say like your press is a little bit off or your piece of brass is slightly canting, it's going to hit this collar and it's going to self-center, and this collar is going to bring it home into the body. So even if you were to hit the pin on this FW Arms decapper, and I have a video on this, and matter of fact, I have a promo code in there. I believe it takes, don't quote me on this, I believe it's 10% off with free shipping. If you want to get one of these, check out that video on my video playlist on the FW Arms decapper. I think get 10% off plus free shipping. But it's roughly 50 bucks, and it's probably, you know, I used to use a lead decapping die for many years. As a matter of fact, I still have it. You know, it's still in here somewhere. I don't know where. You know, I got a Mighty Arms decapper that I never use, and I also have a Lee decapper that I will never use again, because in my personal opinion, the FW Arms decapper is the best, especially for only 50 bucks. If you use that promo code, I think it's, I don't know, check out that video, it's in there. I think it's in the description box, definitely in the video, and I think it's Elster's 10 off. It'll get you 10% off that decapper. But I figured I'd get some of this brass decapped and answer some of your questions. And Is Your 6 cover saying group effort for sure, and that's nailed it once again. We all come together as a community, and we learn from each other. Now, I know some of you guys are like, what the hell, Todd? You're still using your Hornady lock and load press, and you got this brand new, you have this brand new Co-Ax press sitting right to the side of it. And I am still going to keep this for numerous reasons, and exactly what you're watching here in regards to decapping. You're not going to beat the speed of a progressor press when it comes to decapping. And you can see I'm just chucking these in here and it's spitting them out. It's one less thing I have to do. And you're going to watch me. I'm going to fly through all 100 pieces of this Lake City brass. And if you don't decap your brass as your first step, in my opinion, you're doing it wrong. It should be the very first thing you should be doing. And that's what's nice about pretty much any decapper, is you can decap when the brass is dirty. If you're new, you don't need to clean it. And the reason why you're decapping is you're giving, at least for me and my methods, you give your stainless steel tumbler, you're giving this tumbler an extra chance to clean this primer pocket. Not only am I going to clean it right after it's decapped, so it's going to clean the brass, and it's going to clean the inside of the brass, and it's going to give an extra chance to clean the primer pocket. And that's why not only do you decap right away because of that purpose, but you're also going to decap right away when you size it. And now I got this precision press here, single stage, in my opinion, and I've done some testing on it, and I'm about to show that to you here in a little bit. It's insanely consistent in regards to the headspace bump, especially for a semi-automatic, or regardless of what you're doing. And I'm about to show that to you here in a little bit, but I figured I'd have you join me. And then you also need to cap to make sure you're getting accurate readings, because you can get cratering on those primers. And you need to pop that primer out so you can get that accurate reading. And I don't know if I can zoom on this because this is a live feed, but there could be potential cratering on that spent primer. And that will definitely give you false readings in regards to using your bump gauges and getting an accurate measurement to see what that headspace is before and after you size. And if, like I said, if you're not using a decapper as your very first step in the reloading process, you're kind of doing it wrong, in my opinion. As you just discovered saying, is that a giveaway? That's awesome. Rob Stewart's rolling in the house. Bingo Rick. You know, I should be doing a giveaway here soon. I know eventually I might give this annealer away, maybe. People will probably be lining up around the block for that thing. But yeah, it's like I said, if you're new out there, you got any questions, jump in the chat box. I'll try my best to answer them. But you can see I'm still going to keep this Hornady lock and load AP press around for just a specific purpose and not just decapping. You can see I'm flying right through this decapping. You know, if I was to do the decapping on this, it just simply wouldn't be that fast. And I actually have this limiter, and I'm about to do a video on this. I don't want to spill the beans on this completely, but this is a limiter for the throw on this Co-Ax press. And I could put this limiter on this. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to go over here in a little bit, but I kind of given you little spoilers. Excalibur USA saying, hey Todd, did you watch my resizing video? And I haven't yet. I've been so busy between obviously my full-time job and my other full-time job of making sure I give my better half attention. Because holy smokes, apparently I've haven't been getting enough attention lately. So, good old Cam 413 is rolling in the house. So I'm going to quick get these decapped, and I'm going to show you guys some fun toys that have been rolling in. Kind of like some, yeah, as your six covered saying the Spence is killing us, Todd. Yeah, I'm almost done here, man. So if you guys got any questions, if you're new, let them rip. I'll try my best to answer them. If you got any questions regards to reloading. But like I said, check out that video list for the FW Arms decapper. I got a promo code in there for 10% off with free shipping. And now that I have that PSA with the adjustable gas block, I got a feeling I'm going to have to do this load development over somewhat, but I got a feeling those 75 grain, I might try some 69 grain Sierra Match Kings. I know X-Ring and Is Your Six Cover, they have really good luck with those 69 grain Sierra Match Kings. I might actually try those out. But yeah, I'm going to be keeping this press for this specific purpose of not only decapping, but I do a lot of progressive reloading, not only just pistol, but Also in 223, if I need to do some spray and pray ammo, if shit ever hits the fan, I can pump out an insane amount of ammo on this progressive press. So you can see I am almost done here already. And I'm going to show you guys some new toys that just rolled in, and especially this Co-Ax press. And man, for getting this shipped for roughly 280 bucks, God, I mean, it's like a no-brainer almost. I should have done it a long time ago, just to be honest with you guys. In fact, I've been using this Horny lock and load press since the start of this channel for what? The last 5 years, I think I've been rolling with this channel. I've been using nothing but this press, and I know damn well, and from what guys have been telling me, the concentricity of this press compared to this is going to be night and day. And I've already ran some test pieces of brass from Once Fired Lake City brass that had an insane amount of headspace, and it is awesome. Just like that, I'm done. So I'm going to set this off to the side here. I'm going to show this to you later when I put it into the tumbler with some Dawn and hot water. So I'll just set this to the side. But yeah, this finally rolled in, which is the Area 419 clear lid for the A&D scale. And the reason why I wanted to get this is I wanted, let me clip you guys off here so I can get you really nice and close. I wanted to see every single speck of powder fall out of this trickle tube. And that's the sole purpose of why I got this clear lid. And they don't exactly give these clear lids away. I mean, they're $65, and I got this from Data Weighing Systems, the same place I got this whole setup from. Talk about a great group of guys at Data Weighing Systems. Just easy to get along with. The shipping is insanely fast. They got it in stock. It ships right away. And I've done a lot of research, and it seems like they have the lowest prices. And, you know, like I said, with this whole unit, it's roughly a little over $1,000 shipped. If you want this clear lid, it's going to be another 65 bucks. But you can see they router out a channel. It's an actual routered out channel. And you actually take the top of these leg posts off, and you just use the channel. And you can see on the side here, and I'm about to show this in the future once I get this video series done, because I'm still waiting for the reducer for this trickle tube. That's still coming in. Once that is in, I'm going to finish this video series, but you can see we CNC'd an elongated hole on this side panel. And the reason why I want elongated, because when I pick this up, I want to be able to pick it up and then pull it out. So I just don't want a regular hole, just wide enough for the trickle tube, but I wanted it elongated in regards to the height. And so I can pick it up and pull it out. And that's why I did that. And I actually have a video showing us how we cut this hole using a CNC machine that my neighbor has. He's kind of a whiz with a CNC machine. Matter of fact, him and I don't want to spill the beans completely, but we might start making annealers to sell. And it's going to be different than this. And it's going to be different than anything you've ever seen before. And I still kind of working on it and designing it. But him and I are going to be working on, hopefully, some future annealers that are affordable. You know, my goal is to trying to get a flame-based annealer that can consistently get a piece of brass into the flame and out of the flame, not have to remove any drums, and it will work with any piece of brass without having to remove wheels, without move drums. We'll work from 223 all the way up to, say, 30-06 or 7mm Magnum. And I got an idea. I think it'll work. And my buddy and I, we're going to get together, and hopefully we're going to make that happen. But that is coming. But yeah, you can see once I get this reducer on this trickle tube, and now I have the clear lid, this is going to be awesome. Like I said, I got a whole nother pan coming, and I'm going to get this pan, depending on which pan weighs the heaviest, whichever is the lightest, I'm going to make that other pan just as heavy as this one, right to the accuracy of 0.00. And it's going to exponentially increase the speed of dropping powder and getting that powder in those cases. So let me check out some of these comments here. I know I've been blabbering here for a little bit. Hidden Steel CA is dropping the Super Cat, and I greatly appreciate that. I can't tell you how much that helps this channel. It's those super chats like that is what brings this content and my knowledge to you guys, and I greatly appreciate it, and I know you guys greatly appreciate the knowledge. So let me back up here a little bit, make sure I'm not missing anyone's comments here. Let's see here. Yeah, Daniel, God is my just saying, how is your 6 cover supposed to go live? But you're gonna have to just wait, Rick, until I'm done here. You cannot go live until I am done. But Excalibur USA, I'll definitely check out your video. Like I said, I've been so busy lately between giving my better half attention and setting all this up and getting everything ready for these future videos. And Is Your 6 Cover is saying the Spence is killing us. Trust me, it's killing me too. If I didn't have a full-time job, I would have all this done probably already. Is Your 6 Cover is asking if I've ever ran a Dillon, and no, I haven't. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if I was to start over again with a progressive press, I probably would get a Dillon. I'd probably be looking at that Dillon 750 probably. But yeah, and you're gonna notice over here, you know, some of you guys knew I had 2 Charge Masters. Well, I only have one now. I went and sold the other one. Sold it to a guy for 220 bucks. So that was pretty good, I think, for both of us. Excalibur USA is fast shipping really a thing nowadays? I had to lower that. Was due to yesterday and had a scope today. Okay. So Eagle Eye Shooting saying, hey, Todd, hit me up. Been working on a project like that, bounce an idea off you. And that'd be great. I'd like to hear what you got to say in regards to this annealer that I have in mind. And I think it's going to work out really good. And I just got to sit down and get it done. And my goal is, and I think I can make it happen, is to have this special annealer that doesn't need different wheels, doesn't need a different drum. It's got a special, I don't want to spill the beans on it until I get it done, but quick, fast of an adjustment that you can anneal 223 and anneal all the way up to something like maybe even 338 Lapua. That would be my goal without having to move any drums or wheels, and is affordable. My goal is roughly $180 or less. I don't know if it's possible. That's my goal. I have a list of objectives that I want to get to in regards to this new annealer. And it's not going to be a do-it-yourself. We plan on selling these things, so we'll see where that goes. He says, Shark Trick is saying my jacket. Your jacket is gray in my feed and blue in yours. You kind of get the infinite display here. You guys can, it's the magic world of Elster's Rifles and Reloading. All right, enough of the PS talk here. So anyway, so I'm gonna mark this. I already got it marked. So this, you guys have been watching this series. Now this brass is twice fired. So I always keep my information card with the brass that I'm reloading. So that is going to go in the wash here at the tail end of this live event. And I figured I would just kick some spoilers on this Co-Ax press. Now, if you guys watched the previous live event, you guys already know that I got new linkage coming. I got easier access linkage coming to allow more access from the sides. I also have the LED lighting for this coax press rolling in. And I finally got this. And this is the limiter for the coax press, which I kind of already talked about in, let me see if I can find it here. So that is, open this up, kind of talk about this again just briefly. Some of these toys are rolling in. So this is not in yet. The bolt locking rings are not in yet. The stainless steel ground on both faces. Locking rings are not in, but they should be in here soon. I'm still waiting on the press lighting, and I'm still waiting on this linkage for the easy access sides. So that's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that to roll in. And good old JJ Keenan, which you can send him a message, this did finally show up. And this is this Forster Co-Ax limiting device, which I'm actually going to do an individual video on this, showing you how to use it in great detail. I'm going to just quickly show you what this does and why the Forster press is so darn amazing. And if you're not familiar with the Coax Forster press, what really makes the Coax Forster press shine, if you're not familiar with it, is you really have just one shell plate, and it covers most situations. Matter of fact, I don't need to buy a separate shell plate for this press. I can just stick with what it has. I mean, right now I'm only reloading 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP for pistol. In regards to bottleneck cartridges, I'm reloading 223. I got 308, 6.5 Grendel, 6.5 Creedmoor, 243. And this shell plate covers all of that. And I'm about to show that to you in a little bit. But you can see what makes this thing really, really shine. I'll see if I can get this as close as I possibly can. If you're not familiar with the Coax press, is it has what they call jaws, where you just put in your piece of brass, and you're going to watch these jaws close when I pull down on this press handle. And you see that these jaws close in on the brass, and that's what holds it tight. Now, what's really special about the Coax is it's free floating. And it's either your press is not free floating and it's got ultra tight tolerances to create that ultra accurate ammunition with really good concentricity, or it's going to be free floating. And that's kind of where this press really shines. And I'm going to try my best to get this on camera here and guys as close as possible during a live event. But you can see that the jaws will close in on that piece of brass as I lift up, and that's what holds it in place. But this can move. If it's a little off center, it will automatically adjust, and that's what they mean by free floating. It can adjust left and right. It doesn't really adjust front to back, but it will adjust, and it's free floating left to right. Well, it's got, that axis covered, and then it covers the front to back by the die that's on the top of the Coax press here. And this just snaps in, if you're not familiar with this press, and it's got a little play. You can see front to back, it's got a little play. So front to back on the die, and then left to right, it's done on the shell plate. And that's where this really shines. If it's not perfectly centered, it will become perfectly centered as this piece of brass enters that die. And that's where this press really, really shines. And what you can do in regards to, something like 223, it's got a small side of these S jaws. And if you want to do something like a bigger cartridge, something like 6.5 or 308, you actually take this shell plate off, and I'm going to show that to you here a little bit, and you just flip these jaws around, and you can do something like 308. And I'm going to show you that to you after I've sized a few pieces on here, and show you guys what to do if you're missing a couple pieces of your reloaded ammunition. And I just use some brake cleaner and clean up the brass rather than taking just those 2 pieces all the way through the wash. I just use some brake cleaner, and I just use some lube, depending on where you're in the reloading process, rather than going through all that cleaning process. With a tumbler, you just use brake cleaner. And if you don't have non-chlorinated brake cleaner in your reloading room, you're really missing out. I usually get this at Menards for ultra dirt cheap. I think it's like $3, and it's really, really useful and helpful. So just double check the chat boards here. I've been blabbering for quite a bit. Good old COPPA is rolling into the house and saying, "What up? What up, Todd? And how you doing, my friend?" Good old COPPA, another amazing channel. You definitely got to check that guy's channel out. Just an awesome guy. Hitting Steel CA saying, "I was thinking about contacting ammunition manufacturers and telling them that they should sponsor me with match ammunition." I think we all need to do that. Eli Shooting saying that jaw system is a huge plus. Misplaced shell holders many times. That's where this free-floating shell plate on the Co-Ax press, and the little bit of play on that die system as this snaps in and out, and that's where these die locking rings really shine on this press. I mean, this is locked down for your firearms headspace, and you literally just snap this thing in, and you're done. And you want to move on to your from 223 to 308, you take this out and you snap in your 308 die that's already set for its headspace. And I can't wait to do some more reloading and more reloading events for you guys using this press. And they have some quick change shell plates for this. They also have an adapter for this if you want to use a shell plate. They got a bunch of options for this Forster Co-Ax press, and it's just an awesome setup. And the very limited amount of time I've used this, it's been awesome. And like I said, I can't wait to do a live reloading event for you guys with this particular press once I've had more of an opportunity to use it. Now, just a quick go over this limiting device, especially I know some of you guys actually have a Co-Ax. Make sure this is on the picture here. So you can see without this limiting device, I pull about right here, and these S jaws clamp in on this piece of brass, so I can't pull it. And I got to go damn near a full 180 degrees to cycle that piece of reloaded ammunition through the die. So you're talking damn near, yeah, I would say about 180 degrees, maybe even a little bit more. And what this does, so especially if you got a huge reloading event of 100, 200 pieces, and you're not doing this for 200 times, what this thing does is, let me get you guys a little bit closer here. You adjust, there is a black pin underneath here that you spin in and out, and you can see this. And what this pin does is it adjusts the jaws on the shell plate, and you're going to watch these jaws open up a little bit. Let me see if I can get you a little bit closer here. Trying doing this live is next to impossible. So when I turn this black pin in the bottom, you're going to watch these jaws open up, and that's how you adjust it. And you can see they're slowly opening up. So at the bottom stroke, those jaws, you can see the pins poking out through the back here. You can see these jaws opening up, and that's how you get your piece of brass in there. And then when you start your stroke, those jaws close in on that piece of brass, and that's what keeps the brass from falling out. It keeps it centered so it can enter into the die. Well, you can see it, in order to create that whole entire process, I got to go a full 180 degrees on this press handle. So what this does is it limits that, but still allows these jaws to open up. So it will hold this piece of brass in the shell plate. So what you do, I'm going to try my best to get this live for you, and I plan on doing a video on this eventually. Like I said, I'm just playing with toys here. But what this does is you actually slide this limiter, which is here. I'll show it to you once again on the screen. So it's a Forster Co-Ax limiting device that this DJ Keenan sells. You can send him a message on Facebook. He sells these for 35 bucks. I believe he just posted a bunch of them on eBay. I think he just put like 35 of them up there, and you can buy them right now, right off of eBay. And what this does is it limits the amount of rotation on this handle, but allows those S-shaped jaws to open up so you can put in your piece of brass. So what you do is you slide this over that black pin down here, and you got to unloosen this knob. This knob needs to be unloosened all the way out. You slide this on, and usually what I've been doing, like I said, I just got this, I'm still playing with it, but you can see it's already starting to open up, and I'm going to screw this down a little bit more. And so they're not opening up yet. I'm going to pull this back up, and I'm going to screw this out just a little bit. So I'm going to screw this out just a little bit. And you can see there's a little rubber O-ring around here, and I'm going to show you how this works here in a little bit, but I screwed this out a little bit. Now you can see these S-jaws open up just a little bit more. So I'm going to screw this out just a little bit more. And now the S-jaws are opening up even more, so I can actually get that piece of brass in there already. And I'm not even at the top end of this handle stroke. So I'm going to fine tune this just a little bit more, and once you get it set, you can set it and forget it. So let me screw this out just a little bit more, and now you can see, and I'll try and get this as close as I possibly can for you guys live. It's pretty darn difficult with a tripod, but you can see now I've created a different elevation for those S-jaws to interact with the press handle itself. So now I've also limited the opening. I can still get a piece of 223 brass, but I've also opened up the sides. And once I get the easy access linkage on here to boot, I'm going to have so much space in here, I'm not going to know what to do with myself. But once you get this set, then what you can do is tighten this down on this little knob here at the bottom. And I'm going to detach you guys off this tripod to show you as best as I possibly can. But you can see there's a little rubber O-ring underneath here. And the bottom of this part of the press is actually sitting on this O-ring. And I have this tightened up now. Now, with this set up like that, you're going to notice now I can take out this piece of brass. These jaws have opened up, and my handle is no longer at the top stroke. So literally I only am moving it maybe 60 degrees rather than 180, and it's going to save my shoulder and arm a tremendous amount of work. And that's where this thing really starts to shine. So what I'll do is I'll snap in my die. You can see I still got ample room in here to get this in and out, and then I can run it through the die right away. So that's where this thing really, really shines. So you could see, rather than being all the way back, it's just going to save my arm a tremendous amount of effort. And if you guys have followed my adventure at the start of this channel, you know I went through a good amount of cancer in my neck. And it was a very trying time. And it was a tumor on my C6 and C7 spinal cord. And when they removed that fist-sized tumor off my spinal cord, I couldn't even move my right arm. The nerve root coming out of my C6 and C7 spinal cord was so damn damaged. Matter of fact, I think I got the 3D model over here, giving you guys an idea of what I went through. This is a life-size 3D printed version that Mayo printed out. Just to give you guys an idea of the size of this thing. If this is a reloading cedar die, that's how big this tumor was on my C6 and C7. And that's what they removed from my neck. And it was a very trying time. And this thing was enveloping the nerve root coming out of my C6 and C7. And I was very afraid that I would never pull the trigger on a gun ever again. And that's what they removed. And it was literally a year of pure hell for me. And when I got out of that surgery room, I couldn't even move my right arm, and I was afraid that I would never ever pull a trigger ever again. And this was a cancerous chondrosarcoma tumor. I mean, you can see the size of my fist here. It's damn near the size of my fist. And it was, 40 rounds of proton treatments, a 10-hour surgery. And that's why my neck's all jacked up. You can see I got a scar here from hell in the back here, and it was a very trying time. And that's why I wanted to get this device, because this device is going to help save my arm, because I did lose a tremendous amount of strength in my right arm. My neck is fused. I got two 8-inch titanium bars in my neck with 12 screws, because they had, wherever this tumor was attached to my bone, that bone had to get removed. I literally have little to no bone in my neck. So if you're ever wondering why my neck looks all jacked up, that's why, because I got two 8-inch titanium bars with 12 screws in there, literally holding up my neck. And that's why I wanted to get this device. And that's why I think this device is not only going to be helpful for me, but even if you don't have disabilities like myself, and you got this press, the Forster Co-Ax press, it's going to save your arm. It's just going to make it a more enjoyable experience. So I think once I get the open linkage sides, now I got the limiter. I'm going to get the lighting in here. I'm going to get the updated locking rings that are made out of stainless steel. This is going to be the ultimate setup, in my opinion. And, I'm going to take this back off just to show you how much of a difference you're talking about in regards to how much this easy modification makes a difference. So let me take this off. So I'm going to take this off here. And you can see now you got to go all the way back. And that is just going to be so useful and so helpful. I can't even express in words how much that's going to save my arm. So once again, I really got to shake this guy's hand, JJ Keenan, for sending this over. Send him a message if you got a coax press and you're interested in this device. Just send him a message, or you can jump on eBay. I believe he just posted, I think, 35 of these for 35 bucks a piece, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But this is really going to step up the game in regards to using this Hornady L&L press. So now, I know some of you guys, if you go out to the range and you're missing, say, 2-3 pieces of brass, and you're like, dang it, that was Fireform brass, and I still want 100 pieces, but now I only have 98 or 97 because I've 2 or 3 pieces got missed, or they're missing. So we usually, what I'll do, if you're new to the game, is I'll jump into my box of purchased Lake City brass. I know a lot of you guys have seen this before. So I'll just jump into this big box of one fired Lake City brass that I purchased, 1,000 pieces. I think it was roughly about, 70, 80 bucks I got this for. I'll pull out those 3 pieces if I'm in a pinch. And depending on where I'm at in my reloading adventure, which is usually right out of the gate when I get home from the range. And what I'll do, let me get this keyboard out of the way here. Let me just check your chats here. I've been blabbering here for quite a bit. Let me make sure I'm not missing anyone's chats here. Let's see here. So Ramsey Country's rolling in the house. I'm going to get some water here too. And Eagle Eye Shooting saying that thing moves like butter, and it's awesome. You guys are going to love it. Is your subscriber saying, Dan, Todd, glad you're back in action. I'm glad to be back in action, and I don't plan on going anywhere. So I got my next follow-up exam here in a couple months. My last one was a little bit of a scare. They might have thought the cancer might have been growing back, but they think it's all right, but we'll find out here in a little bit. So I got another follow-up exam here at the end of the year in November, I think it is. But yeah, so if you guys are in a pinch, usually what I do is I break out the good old brake cleaner here. I usually get a rag and just grab a rag. And like I said, you got to make sure you're using brake cleaner that's non-chlorinated. And I will just throw those really dirty pieces of Lake City once fired brass. Like I said, this isn't fired out of my firearm. This is fired out of a military grade firearm. I'll just douse this with brake cleaner if you're in a pinch, so you don't go through the whole cleaning process just for 3 pieces. And I'll just clean this up as best as I can. So I'll clean the body up a little bit. So I'll just clean this up like that, set that off to the side. Let's try 3 pieces here. And we'll just clean this up with brake cleaner, and this will clean this up good enough for the size and process. Now, it's not shiny, but like I've said before, shiny brass is not accurate brass. Just because this looks dirty doesn't mean it's not going to be accurate. It's just been cleaned with brake cleaner. And if, like I said, if you're in a pinch, that's what you can do. And what I'll do is I'll grab some Q-tips and I'll actually spray. That's why I recommend a kitchen countertop for your reloading bench, because you cannot do what I'm about to do with a polyurethane wood bench. It's just not going to happen. I will literally spray brake cleaner. This would destroy a polyurethane wood bench. And I know a lot of you guys see me do this before. This is permanent black magic marker. And you cannot do this with most benches. And if you ever make a reloading bench, that would be foobarred at that point. But with kitchen countertop and brake cleaner, it is not a problem. And you just literally wipe it off. It's a good thing I didn't draw a big set of balls on my bench. So, I'm just kidding. So once I get done doing this, I will douse the end of this Q-tip with some brake cleaner, and I'll actually let brake cleaner sit right on the bench there, because it's made out of kitchen countertop, and I will clean the case mouth openings, and that way it doesn't mar the inside or the pin, if you are using a pin on your die. So you just clean that up just like that. Some good old brake cleaner. Now this stuff is good enough to be sized. You didn't have to go through the whole cleaning process just for 3 pieces. And I've literally seen guys do that. I'm like, man, just get some brake cleaner. That's all you need to do. Now, the second you guys are done doing that, you got to decap it. Don't forget, first step of any reloading process should be decapping. So I am going to quick decap these 3 pieces. So you get a consistent headspace bump. So primers are now gone. And if you want, you could size this right away. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I can't remember what I set the headspace. I think it was just preliminary on this sizing die. I think this was set at 1.452, 1.451, somewhere around there. But remember, this is Lake City brass. This wasn't fired out of my firearm. This is fired out of a military grade firearm. And I'm going to guarantee you that it's got the headspace from hell on it. And I can verify that with my bump gauges. So my bump gauges are zeroed out. This is once fired Lake City brass that I purchased online. 1,000 pieces, roughly 80 bucks, shipped to my front doorstep. And I guarantee this probably has a pretty good headspace on it. So this one has 4, 5, 7. Let's check out these other pieces. So we're going to try 3 pieces here. So 4, 5, 7. So that seems pretty reasonable. So some of these have been over 460. Let's see what this one is. And this is exactly that. This is 1.460. Usually on my firearms, now this is using my bump gauge. This is not using your bump gauges. Bump gauges don't tell you the true headspace. They only tell you what you're bumping at. So keep that in mind. I know some of you guys think these bump gauges tell the exact headspace. It does tell you somewhat close what the headspace is, but it's all bump gauges do is tell you that you've bumped the brass. It just tells you what the brass headspace is before and what the headspace is after you size it. That's all bump gauges do. It just shows you that you have bumped it. So lock that in your brain. I've mentioned that before. I'll say it again. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab a new Q-tip and we're going to use some good Imperial case wax. I'm not even going to use spray lube. I'm going to use just pure Imperial case wax. And if you don't have Imperial case wax in your reloading room, you're doing it wrong. I know some of you guys have seen me do this before, one shot with a big batch of 100 pieces in a popcorn bowl. But if you're in a pinch, you got 3 pieces like this. This is typically what I'll do. So I'll get some Imperial case wax on my finger here and I'll coat each one. Nice, even, light coat. Doesn't have to be outrageous. So coat the outsides here on all 3 of these. Nice even coat. And like I said, we pop these primers out. If you don't pop those primers out, you're going to get an inconsistent headspace bump. Guarantee it. Or you're going to get a really crappy headspace bump. It's going to be one of the two. So get a Q-tip here. I'm going to put a little bit of... now, this isn't Is Your Six Cupboard lube time. This is just a little bit of lube. It's not Is Your Six Cupboard amount of lube. He uses an insane amount of lube when he reloads. It kind of just goes everywhere. So all right. So we got this. Let me grab that one that had the insane headspace on it. So what was that? 4, 5, 8. All right. So this is the one with the crazy headspace. So 460. Now we're going to bump this to 452. We're going to bump this over 8 thousandths of an inch. That's a hell of a pump. This isn't like fireform brass that came out of your firearm that you're only going to bump back maybe no headspace, or in a semi-automatic, maybe bump it back 2 to 3 thousandths of an inch. This was fired out of most likely a military grade firearm that had an insane headspace. And I think I had this set up for 452. We'll check this out. And you can see how nice these jaws are, man. They just clamp right down on this. I'm going to try my best to get this live. It's pretty hard, but I'll try my best. And the second I pull down on this handle, you're going to watch these jaws clamp down on this piece of brass. And you can see it clamps down on that piece of brass, and that's where this floating motion comes into play. If it's not lined up, it will be lined up because there's springs in here that move this left and right. And also this die is a little loose, and that moves a little bit front to back. So with the front to back and the left to right, you got all your axes covered. And it will line up right perfectly into that die. And what's so nice about this press is there's no overcam. It just bottoms out and stops. You don't have to play around with, oh, don't press too hard on the overcam or don't press too light on the overcam. There is no overcam. It just stops. There's no overcam to this thing. And with the no overcam and that floating action, that's where this thing really, really shines. And like I said, 452. You're watching this live. It's not some shit that I just made up. So pop this in. I'm going to bring this back, and you can see where this limiting device really comes to play. You can see how much more extra I have to move this handle by not using this. So this is a humongous bump on this brass. And that's it. There's no overcamming. I'm not concerned about pushing too hard at the bottom of the overcam. I'm not concerned about pressing too little on the overcam. And that's where this thing really shines with that free flow action. It is just awesome. And right there, my friends, 452. Let's try another one. So this one's starting out at 458. So we're going to bump this 6/1000ths of an inch. That's a pretty damn good bump. And boom, done. And man, that action is so freaking smooth. And this one is really close, 4.515. So we'll just say 4.52. And that's what you call very consistent resizing of your brass. And that's why I'm so excited about using this press. And not only for its no BS, no overcamming precision, but using that with the free floating system, using the limiter device. I'm going to get the updated rings, the open side linkage here from these guys. And just a quick go over that. If you guys didn't see yesterday's video, and if you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out yesterday's live video. Let me back up here. So still waiting on Daniel's reducer for the trickler. That's coming. Got the press. Still waiting on these stainless steel ground and honed rings for even more accuracy. Still waiting on the press lighting. And we're waiting on Joshua's open side linkage. Man, I can't wait. It is going to be flipping awesome. Well, if you guys got questions, let yourself be known in the chat box. Otherwise, I'm probably going to wrap this up here pretty soon. I just wanted to go on this little adventure with you guys here. I'm going to quick throw this into the wash. I'm going to show you that here too. And Ramsey Country saying, very true, Todd, is just a reference number, same as ogive measurements. And that's exactly right. You know, regardless if you're using your bump gauges or your ogive bullet comparators, it's just a reference number. It's not the exact number. And that is exactly true. So, yes, X-Copper, you're saying, get some Forster dies for that press. And to be honest with you, I am very pleased with these actual Hornady resizing dies. They actually produce very consistent headspace bumps. Otherwise, I usually use Redding dies. If it's not Hornady dies, usually it's Redding dies, and I have an insane amount of Redding dies in here, and I'm a huge fan of the Redding competition cedar dies. In my opinion, they're the best cedar dies that money can buy, and it's usually one of the two. But if you want something that's inexpensive and works great, in my opinion, I think the Hornady dies work really well. So I'm going to get this mess cleaned up here. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. And what I'm going to do here is a lot of you guys have seen this before, but I'm going to get the hottest water I possibly can get out of this sink. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit. Hotter the water, the cleaner the brass. So I'm going to wait until I start to see steam coming off this hot water. And if you don't have a slop sink in your reloading room, just really looking to get in one, or if you're just about to do your reloading room, get a wet sink in there, a slop sink. I think we got some good hot water coming out of there. And I know a lot of you guys have seen this before, but I do not use stainless steel media anymore. Just don't believe in it. God, this sucker's on there. Some way, somehow, I'm going to take Izzy your 6 covered live event crown. All right, so I'm going to dump this brass in here. I got a funnel for that sole purpose. Making it easy. Fill this up with some hot water. Put a good squirt of Dawn just for the first wash. I just use Dawn only, and I don't use Lemmy Shine on the first wash. It's not until the second wash do I use Dawn and Lemmy Shine. This is just enough to get the brass clean. That's it. All right, so let me check out some of your comments here before I take off. Make sure no one's got any other questions, and if you do, you better let them rip really, really quick. Good old Excalibur saying that Redding is almost the same as Forster, and I do have to check those out, but I think I got all the dies I need unless I buy another firearm with a different cartridge. So these reloads are coming up here too. I got a bunch more toys rolling in here. We're going to get both of these pimped out. And in my opinion, this is the best bang for your buck in regards to what you can do for the ultimate precision. And I'm so excited to show this to you guys. And I hope we are all learning together. Well, if you enjoy my content, you enjoy these live streams, scratch my back and I'll continue to scratch your back with this content by not only like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, become a Patreon. It helps out more than you know. I appreciate those super chats. I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone's questions here. I think that's pretty much it. And I am going to set this, at least on the first wash, for usually about an hour. It's just enough to get the brass clean. That's all I'm care. Just don't want to damage those resizing dies. It's not until the second wash do I use, once again, hot water, but a good squirt of Dawn and 1 teaspoon of Lemmy Shine. And then on the second wash, I run it for an hour and a half. And those primer pockets will be spotless.